Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick video on hamstring stretches. It's a common stretch to be given out to people with back pain. There are a few fine teaching techniques that you need to just be aware of when you do stretch the hamstring. Obviously the hamstring is quite a long muscle, so it's possible to stretch it at the knee end and it's possible to stretch it at the hip end. So the first one I want to just quickly run through is arguably the traditional one when you're just laying down on the floor. So down we go. Most of you, if you've ever been given a hamstring stretch, this will look very familiar. You're told to grab around the back of the knee joint, straighten the leg up. Nice and easy, no problems. Sometimes you can have your other leg down flat. Again, up you go, no problems. The key thing here is what happens in your lower back. So when the hamstring is tight, as you straighten that leg up, what will happen is, because of where it attaches, it'll actually flatten your back against the floor. Now, to really get a good stretch, you need to minimize the flattening of your lower back. So you need to be very much aware that there is a hollow in here. Your natural curvature means that there is a hollow in the small of the back. So maintain that hollow as you go into the stretch, and now we get a different stretch altogether. I could use a band to assist with this. Again, being very mindful that there is a hollow in the small of the back, and now taking that up to extension. It's common for the muscles or the leg to kind of shake a little bit. That's fine, they're muscles fighting each other. But you've got to make sure that you keep this hollow in the small of the back, that does not go away. Your back does not flatten into the floor. For some people, in terms of just some feedback, you can roll up a towel and you can place the towel just in that lower back position, pretty much in line with the belly button. So if you were to drop a line through the belly button, it would go through the middle of the towel. And that just helps to give you some feedback. The towel won't keep the curvature in the small of your back. That's not the point of it. It's just to give you some feedback as to when you feel your lower back pressing down into the towel. We want to just resist that. And that theme carries over into all hamstring stretches. So as we sort of come into more vertical or standing positions, again, if I was going to do a hamstring stretch from here, it's not about me getting my torso closer to, my thigh, my leg, because that's quite easy, right? Because I just bend my back to get there. So I need to keep the lordosis, the natural curvature of the lower back, in place as I bend from the hip. So I'm going to hinge from the hip, and I don't have to hinge very far before I get quite a good hamstring stretch. Now this way I'm protecting my lower back because I'm not bending it, I'm not rounding it. So the lower back is safe, plus I'm getting a really accurate stretch now in the hamstring. But I've got to keep that curvature, that lordosis. Then we can jump up to seated. Probably one of my favourite ways actually to stretch the hamstring. So nice posture, slightly exaggerated so that I know I've got that lordosis. And then all I do is push my hips back, keep my head where it is. So it looks like I tipped forward, but I didn't. I just pushed my hips back. And now again, nice little hamstring stretch. You can do it. Options, options, options. I bet that ball comes back into view. Go away. So again, nice and upright, tall kneeling position, maintaining the lordosis. And I'm just going to tip forward until I feel a little bit of tension. Now this is going to be a little higher, obviously because I've bent the knee joint, so the bottom of the hamstring, that that furthest point of the hamstring around the back of the knee joint isn't going to get a stretch here because the knee's bent, but I will get a slight stretch higher up. So keep the lordosis, drive the hips back, and we get a little stretch at the top of the position. Now it looks a bit precarious, so again, you could use I needed it to roll back. You can use a support structure, Swiss ball, chair, sofa, you name it, so that as you hinge, you can just obviously allow your weight to be fully supported, and you can look for a stretch higher up. You can do that same movement then standing. So again, get rid of the ball. I don't need it this time, it's bound to come bouncing back at me. So standing, the leg is relatively straight, a little soft knee, push the hips back, keep the torso nice. And now because we've got the leg straight, obviously that lengthens that hamstring back out again. And now that's a good hamstring stretch. But the key ingredient through all of these is not to round off the lower back. If you round the lower back, it's just your lower back that's taking up the slack. So you could have really tight hamstrings, but if you always stretch just by rounding your back, you're actually not going to stretch the hamstrings anywhere near as effectively, and you might be doing and having a negative benefit on your lower back. So give that a little go. Please let me know how you feel and how it fares. As always, stay healthy, but the hamstring, they love to be hydrated, so keep the fluid going in. A dehydrated hamstring is a tight hamstring. Until next time,